This is Calabash Community, and now we shift our focus to farming. Most persons in farming will know Chris Renwick, the Managing Director of Renwick & Company. He has been providing inputs for farming for 50 years. So when we saw Mr. Renwick addressing some farmers, we decided to share his comments with our viewers. Mr. Renwick was addressing the registered farmers who supply Massey stores.
I practically consider myself to be a registered farmer because I have been so close to the farming community. You know, we have just celebrated our 50th anniversary, and I feel so proud that what we started with, in fact, was supplying inputs to farmers. And let me tell you, in those early days, it wasn't easy. But thanks to the farmers, like all of you, and some of those who can't make it here today, we have had your full support over those 50 years, and it showed me that my trust was well placed, and I want you to be sure that Renwick & Company, even when I am not there, my children and my other partners in business, Da Costa, where are you, Da Costa?
He's somewhere hiding.
Da Costa is like one of the family. Every farmer knows him. He's a wonderful young man. And they all know how important the farming community is to Renwick. And it makes a difference between whether we make a profit or a loss. A lot of the other items, you know, we've got a lot of, let us say that there's a lot more competition with things like the supermarkets. But, you know, all the farmers use the same inputs. We try to make sure that we get you the best. The best, sometimes it may not be the cheapest, but we try to get you the best fertilizer and the best pesticides. We have had some of our people from Syngenta come here and address you to go into all the details of why you should do your farming in a certain way. I don't think there's too much more I can say except, again, to repeat how proud I am to have been allowed to be part of this function today, and that I feel I am part of your farming community. I honestly feel like I am one of you, and I hope that when I retire, maybe I'll have a little farm somewhere. It might be a very small farm in my backyard, but I promise you, my hobby, if I have time for a hobby, my hobby is gardening. But my wife right now doesn't allow me any time to grow food because she's so busy growing orchids and other flowers. But at least it keeps me accustomed to being out there in the garden. But I will become a farmer again in my retirement years, if the Lord gives me time for that.
Mr. Chris Renwick was addressing the very first farmers' meeting between the rebranded CFL Massey stores and their registered farmers. That note brings us to the end of Calabash Community for tonight. Join us again tomorrow for another edition. I am Bernard Vance.